So the Chicago Bears head to London this week to face off against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the early game of the NFL slate. The Bears continue on in this 5-game stretch of very winnable games that could set them up for a late season surge into a playoff push. They enter this game already above 500 at 3-2, having beat lowly Carolina Panthers team, which is expected. Now in London this week, they have a potentially equally as bad Jacksonville Jaguars team who have gotten their first win under their belt, but there is serious reason to believe that with a win here today, the Bears continue to ascend and establish themselves as a potential playoff team moving forward. Look, there's a lot of discourse back and forth about whether or not the Jacksonville Jaguars picking up their first victory coming before this game in London is good or bad for the Bears. Some people are saying that Jacksonville, having gotten that monkey off their back already, means that they're going to come into London a little less hungry, a little less eager to prove that they're better than they've played. While other people tend to believe that with that win, now they've gotten that monkey off their back and they can build off of that. They know what it takes to win, that they know that they can do it. With this Bears defense going up against Trevor Lawrence, who has struggled mightily this season, and a ground game for Jacksonville that hasn't necessarily established himself yet this year. Travis Etienne has been the lead back, but has been starting to share some touches with their backup Tank Bigsby. Because of the lack of passing game from Trevor Lawrence, his wide receivers haven't put up the stats. They've missed time from Evan Ingram. So there's a whole host of things on that offensive side of the football for the Jacksonville Jaguars that bode well against an elite top 5 defense in the Chicago Bears. That said, the Bears defense is going to be a little injured this week. Already known to not have traveled with the team and listed out already is Jaquan Brisker due to the concussion protocol. And recently notified Tyreek Stevenson will be doubtful for the game. So that secondary that is so elite, that has been built up so heavily and is so touted, will be missing 2 key starters. So the depth that Ryan Poles has built is going to have to step up this week. Switching over to the offense, it's more of the same. Continue to build on the successes that you've had in each of the last 2 weeks. Caleb had easily his best game as a pro last week against Carolina. I expect more of the same against Jacksonville this week from Caleb. And as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, I do genuinely believe that the Bears offense not only will have success, but will help elevate the Bears to a potential victory. I would love to see guys like Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones really step up. Sophomore slump from Darnell Wright this season. I think if he has a really good game, protects Caleb, establishes himself in the run game for DeAndre Swift, they're going to be great in the game. Obviously, DJ Moore had a great week last week, and Rome Odunze has already had a big game earlier in this season. I'd like to see the two of them both connect this week with Caleb, along with Cole Kmet. But the person I am looking for most on the offensive side of the football now is Keenan Allen. Injuries earlier in the season have hindered him from being able to be on the field and be productive. But when he's been on the field, he's produced just 10 catches this season so far. Look, there's a lot of miles on those legs from Keenan Allen due to a decade of football in the NFL. But because he's been in the league for so long, people know what he can do. He is an offensive weapon, and even though he's on the field and creating some cause for concern for defenses, which has allowed guys like DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet to have some freedom and some performance upside, would like to see Keenan Allen be worthwhile of the draft pick that was given up to acquire him. I would like to see at least 5 catches, maybe 50 yards, and a touchdown this week, but we'll see if that happens. Personally, I think this is going to be a dominant display from the Bears yet again. Maybe not quite as big of a discrepancy as last week, but even with the injuries to the defensive side of the ball in that secondary, I still don't think that Jacksonville's passing game finds a way against an elite Bears defense on all 3 levels. I think Caleb continues to ascend and prove he is as legitimate as people thought he was going to be. Shane Waldron continue to execute, rotating the running backs as necessary, getting the right personnel on the field. I think the Bears come away with a win, come home from London, enjoy that trip, and walk out 4-2. All right, we'll talk after the game.